In the beginning, God creates heavens and the earth and everything else that we have. Paleolithic age. Around Mesopotamia, people are hunter-gatherers and use stone tools and fire and fun paintings. Around the same area was the Neolithic Revolution, and people developed farming and systematic agriculture, which was very popular everywhere, and they tamed dogs. During the Bronze Age, people figure out how to make metal tools, and that copper and tin make bronze. Also, the Sumerians make a cool circle. It's the wheel. Some of the great firsts are happening, like the Sumerians who make city-states, new technology, and religion becomes very popular. The Phoenicians have a trade empire and an alphabet, while plumbing and civilization are emerging in the Indus River Valley. Even more civilizations are emerging all over the world, including the Egyptian Old Kingdom that had mummies, built pyramids, and this thing. The Akkadians created the first empire. Nomads are beginning to move to different parts of the globe, like Europe, India, and Western Asia. The Mycenaean Greeks set up the stage for ancient Greece, while Hammurabi sets up the Babylonians and writes his own code of law. The Hittites are the first Indo-Europeans to use iron, while China emerges with the Shang dynasty. Meanwhile, the Israelites form and they introduce a new monotheistic religion. Say hello to the Iron Age. Iron outshines bronze, and people began to use it for weapons. The Assyrian Empire is really good at conquering the people around it. They also take Egypt and get most of the Middle East. The Assyrians were conquered by the Babylonians, and then the Babylonians were conquered by the Persians. By the way, one time the Persians tried to conquer the Greeks, but the Greeks won, and around 750, the Athenians contribute to the vast wealth of philosophy that we have today, as well as some incredible architecture. The Macedonians invade Greece, and Alexander the Great does a bunch of conquering and basically controls the Persian Empire. He also reaches India, but doesn't conquer it. Because of him, the Hellenistic era happens, and people like Archimedes learn new things about physics and geometry. 0 to 35 AD, Jesus is born and Christianity becomes a new religion. The Romans take the medal from the Greeks for the best empire in 14 AD, and around 235 there are internal problems, but don't worry, because Christianity has been accepted. The Western Empire collapses, but the East lives on in the Byzantines. The Franks emerge as neighbors to the Italy region, and Gregory I establishes the Roman Catholic Church in politics. Later, Muhammad introduces a new religion called Islam, which is a cousin to Judaism, but they hate each other. Islam steadily becomes its own empire. Byzantines become a thing, and Justinian writes a legal code that becomes the base for legal things all over Europe for the rest of history. Charlemagne pulls it all together while he has his own empire over in Europe and is crowned by the Pope as the Holy Roman Emperor. He's so influential, somebody calls him the Father of Europe. Eventually, the Vikings get some land from the French, and the feudal system emerges because people want to be safe from them. When you look at that, the church split into Catholic and Eastern Orthodox. The European countries decide that it's their job to save Jerusalem from the Muslims, and they go on the Crusades. The Middle Ages start with some international trade becoming very popular, and England is fully developed and has an interesting system of government, which the Magna Carta solidifies. Oh hey, not only did the church split earlier, they also have the Great Schism, and now there's 3 popes. The Renaissance resparks learning, philosophy, and art, starting to bring Europe out of the Dark Ages. Protestant Reformation also happens with Martin Luther and John Calvin causing divisions in the church and giving countries something else to fight about. England also reforms, but that's because Henry VIII didn't like his wives. Our age of exploration rings in when Vasco da Gama reaches India and Africa, opening trade and making a lot of profit. While Columbus goes to what he thinks is India, he actually finds America. Spain decides it wants its own overseas empire and goes around conquering Mesoamerica and some of South America. Now everyone wants a colony in the New World, and because they want to trade stuff, the first global economic system, mercantilism, emerges. Europe is going into crisis with an inflation, the witchcraft trials, and the 30 Years' War. It also turns to absolutism to fix all of its economic problems, while Hobbes and Locke set the stage for government and political science. The Asian states are changing a bit and are beginning to be influenced by the Europeans. Japan reunifies and the Muslims from the Middle East are taking over Southeast Asia area, while the Chinese goods are prized by the Europeans who are having trouble trading with them. Britain is taking over trade in India. The scientific revolution changes the way people think, and now instead of relying on claims of past scientists, they become scientists themselves and begin to observe and use the scientific method. They change the way the world is viewed, engineer new technology, and make incredible discoveries while the Enlightenment creates social science. Hey, look at that, Napoleon's making himself an empire, and the Industrial Revolution kicks off with steam engines, cotton, coal, and iron. And in opposition to industrial capitalism, early socialism arises. Nationalism causes a bunch of rebellions all over Europe, and in Latin America and South America. At the last half of this 18th century, the Second Industrial Revolution comes in with electricity, steel, chemicals, and petroleum, fostering the start of a world economy and mass society. And Britain decides that bullying China into doing drugs is for the best. Britain decided to actually take over India, and the open door policy prevents China from falling apart while opening their trade to other nations. Serbia attacked Austria, now Austria declares war on Serbia. Russia declared war on Austria, and then Germany declared war on Russia and France. Oops, now we got a world war on our hands. It doesn't help that Russia had a revolution. Look at that, the Treaty of Versailles sounds like a great idea. It's not. The Great Depression hits everyone hard. Germany gets angry and elects a dictator who starts World War II. Hitler thinks that the Jews need to go. The World War ends entirely when the US play the OP card of bombing Japan, and the Cold War starts up. They make pacts with European countries, NATO and the Warsaw Pact, and the world becomes divided into hostile alliances again. Don't worry, they figure everything out. Hey, 2000s. Cultural imperialism becomes a thing, and the UN regulates international security, while the technological revolution of the 1900s gives us our techie world. The end.